and welcome. This is Saturday News at noon. I'm your host, Keith Lander, coming to you from the Tabernacle Baptist Church right here in Dayton, Ohio. Well, I welcome you all and appreciate all the comments from the last show. You can hit the subscribe button or like button and give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, send me a message. I'll make sure I acknowledge that you watch the show and share the show out to the community because we want to inform the community at best we can with accurate information and information that you can use in the community. And on this show, we got a special guest. We haven't had a special guest in a while, but we do have a special guest this week, Greg West. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
That's right. And Greg West is the founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization, Felons with a Future. Greg, what is Felons with a Future?
Felons with a Future is a nonprofit organization that is a reentry program that we started last July. I want to say July 20th of last year, matter of fact. I can't tell you. I think that's the exact date. But what it is it's a nonprofit organization where we help restored and returning citizens come home, work on their thinking as we also teach them how to become business owners and entrepreneurs. We believe that if we give them a chance to, work on starting something of their own, it helps reduce the recidivism and also takes away another excuse to say, oh, won't nobody hire me because I'm a felon, and give them another avenue to go instead of returning back into the streets that they come out of. The concept of it was brought to me, my attention when I was incarcerated and I was looking at how did I get to the place where I was at and what can I do to stop from coming back to these places, because I wasn't brought up. I was brought up in a decent environment, and I was like, well, you have owned a couple businesses, and you knew that when you were putting the work into those businesses, you had less time to run around and do crazy things. So that's where the concept came from. And I was able to really slow down during the pandemic last year and bring it into fruition.
Yeah. Now you also let's get some of your board members. Let's hear their names. I know you have a board. Let's recognize some of your board members.
Right. Our vice president is Amy Cox. She was a candidate for. She ran for state representative in the district from Preble County and parts of Montgomery County. She's our vice president. Our treasurer is a guy named Raymond Howard, a nice guy graduated from UD. Don Eric Black, he sits on our board. Dion Green, we have Martin Boyd. We have a wide variety of people that sit on our board. Karen Korn. We try to make our board up of some non felons, and also some of us who are restored citizens. That way it's an equal amount of people representing us so that we can get perspective from both sides, not just from the clinical side. And speaking of clinical, I better not forget him, Chad Sloss. He's also on our board, whose wife is also running for city commissioner right now. So, we have a nice variety of a board.
That's great. Now you also have a mentorship and educational services also provided under your organization. Is that right?
Well, the mentorship is what we try to do is help. Like say, in our last cohort, we had a guy who was looking to start a trucking business. Well, he had started a trucking business and he just needed some help, trying to structure it a little bit more. And I was able to help him find a business mentor, somebody who's already had a trucking business, and help him to, go through some of the pitfalls or talk to them about some of those things. That's what our mentorship is about. It's trying to get them a business mentor, a life mentor, as some people call a life coach, somebody who's been through the pitfalls that they might face and help them out, give them somebody to talk to. Because a lot of times, especially with a lot of our participants are males, and they feel like, opening up is a hard thing to do. So we give them somebody that they can identify with, somebody who's been where they've been and found a way out that they might open up. So that's a big part of our mentorship, letting them know that, you have somebody to talk to and somebody to help guide you through some of the pitfalls that they might encounter as they try to open up their business.
That's great. Now, you also have, just for contact information, so if people want to contact you, you have either a phone number. I know you also have a website. You want to give out the phone number and website where people can contact you?
Sure. They can contact us on our phone number at 937-270-3731. They can also reach us on our website at felonswithafuture.org or they can also email us at felonswithafuture@gmail.com. If you go to our website, they'll have a place to say to sign up and everything. You can hit that, and we'll see that, and we'll get back to you. They can also get in touch with us because our classes are going to be held at the Wesley Center, Wesley or Dayton since they changed their name, and they can get in touch with them up there, and they can direct them on how to come up there to fill out the application and everything.
Now, I know you also are taking in donations because I've seen on the website there's a place where you can donate. So for people who want to donate, they can go to the website also and donate, whether it be financially or whether it be
Volunteer,
some time. Yeah,
right.
Volunteer. So go ahead and put that.
Yes, you can donate. You can donate on our website. You can even sign up to, like he said, to volunteer to help us out. Because a lot of times, resources, when we hear resources, we think about financial, but we also need sweat equity a lot of times. We need people who want to give back. We're looking for people who volunteer as business mentors or life mentors, help us help our community. And also, you can also, if you decide that, you don't want to do the electronic donations, you want to do the old-fashioned way, mail a check in, you can do so. You have they show you our address, our P.O. box on the website, but it's P.O. Box 60504. I think I said it right. I hope I did. If not, you can check it out on the website, Dayton, Ohio, 45406. And, like I say, it's not always about the monetary thing, even though it helps, but we're also looking for people with what time to give us to help us.
And so are there any other requirements except just being a felon that you have to meet before you participate in the program?
We're open to anybody in our community who is looking to change their lives or even work on trying to open up their own business or need guidance like that. Even though we focus on felons, but we're open to anybody who needs this information. One thing about it, the classes are all free. So there's no requirement except for, having the willingness to sit through the 12-week class with us. We meet, 3 times a week for 2 hours, some nights an hour and a half. And the module is we spend a lot of our time working on our thinking, and then we spend like 5 to 6 weeks working on the business plan, the marketing plan, as we still work on our thinking, because that's what our community needs. A big part of is how to change our mindsets, get out of some of those indoctrinations that we've been given. And the one thing we work on with our participants is discovering the different levels of trauma that sent us into the places that we've gone. The trauma that, led us to the streets or any, even if you're not a felon, you've gone through some traumatic experiences that have led you to doing something that, that might not be conducive to your spiritual or your physical growth. So we help you work on, the trauma that sent you into those dark places, the trauma that we've gone through while we were in the streets, the trauma that we went through when we were incarcerated, and the trauma that we've gone through when we come home trying to fit back in society, knowing that we no longer want to live that old way of life, but having doors slammed in our face because of the stigma that sometimes is not erased. Even though we say that we've paid our debt to society, society doesn't always feel the same way, and we're held responsible for a mistake or a choice that we made years ago.
But I think your program is an excellent program and it's much needed in the community. That's why when I seen you speaking down at the Dayton City Commission meeting, I said I had to reach out to you and get you on the show so you can share the information. And if you know anybody who's struggling out there, who's a felon, who's still trying to find his or her footing, I suggest you contact Greg West, who is the founder and CEO of Felons with a Future, because everybody deserves another chance. Just because you make one mistake, you shouldn't carry that mistake around a whole lifetime. And so I appreciate your program. I appreciate your board. I appreciate the folks who are coming in and mentoring to the folks in the program. And if I forgot anything that you need to say, go ahead and say that now.
Sure. We work more than just helping them also become entrepreneurs. We're partnering, like I said, with Wesley Center, where we're starting up working on job readiness. So if they don't want to start their own business, but they still want to go through our classes so that they can learn the information, so if they do decide to, that they have that option. We're helping them with job readiness, and another one of our partners, which is the Be Love Foundation, will help them also get an OSHA 10 card in their hands. There's some wonderful things that are going on with us right now. We're also in the mix of trying to start a partnership with the Wesley Center, Be Love, and we're trying to get the union's apprenticeship program on board so that we can develop a pre-apprenticeship program to help transform, make the transition for some people coming home or some people who have been in our community where they haven't had the opportunities to make the transition from where we're at into the working society and everything. And I'm pleased to say that I've been reached out from some people in Grand Rapids, Michigan, who are looking for us to expand the program up there. But one thing I want to say is right here is home, and I would like to, try to build the base up even more here and help as much and many people here in our own community first. But I'm still open to expand and help other places too.
That's great. And Greg, give that phone number one more time. We're going to probably put it on the screen there. So, folks, get your pen and pencil out. Write down this phone number, Felons with a Future. This is the phone number. This is how you can contact Greg West, and this is how you can get involved.
The phone number, again, is 937-270-3731. You can either call us or you can send us a text message, and we usually get back with you within 24 to 48 hours.
That's great. Well, Greg, I thank you for coming on the show.
I appreciate you having us.
And maybe in the future we'll have you back, and you can tell us all the progress your program's made. And you probably outgrow the Wesley Center. You probably have to get a bigger place to have your workshop. So I hope that's the case. So
God willing.
Me too. Absolutely. So thank you, Greg. We'll move on to the second part of our show. We'll be right back. Okay. Well, we always after the guest we always have the scam report. And the scam alert, I should say. Now, this scam report is spotting scammy emails. Now, a viewer named Becky B, she sent me a text and said she received a email in Spanish that was supposedly coming from her bank. All right, and she quickly acknowledged that this is a scam. And not only do these scammers also send scam emails that look like it come from your bank. Hers was in Spanish, which tipped her off, and I thank you, Becky, for acknowledging and letting me know that had taken place. And sometimes these scammers, they'll send you an email. It looks just like it came from your bank, and it'll say something, because I got one. It'll say that you have to update your account, and you click on here and it'll update your account, because otherwise your account will be froze. Don't fall for that, folks. If the bank will the bank will contact you if there are some issues. Now, I suggest if you get one of these emails and it look like it's from your bank or your financial institution where you deal with, whether it be a credit union or whichever, call the credit union yourself. Call the financial institution yourself and ask these people, have you send me an email with whatever it's relating to. Do not click on that email. Don't click on it. Because if you click on that, that starts the scammers, that starts them rolling. You know what I mean? So, Becky B, I won't say her last name, but I will give her a lot of credit. I thank you for that. And if you do spot these things, here's what you need to do. Don't click on the links, and this is from the Federal Trade Communication. It says if you do get one of these emails and you're not sure about this thing, don't click on the link. And it says don't use numbers or emails in a text. And you should call the company that sent you the message, or either look up the phone number online to see if it's legit. And it also says that never give your password to a stranger on the phone, even if they claim to be from a company you recognize. So don't ever give your password out to these people whom you're talking to on the phone. Don't ever do that. That's from the Federal Trade Commission. And also, if you did give your password out, change it right away. Make sure you go on that thing and change it as quickly as you possibly can, because these scammers will get that password and they'll wreak havoc with the rest of your life. So watch out for these scammy emails. Don't open these emails that look like it came from your bank or your financial institution. Call them yourself to make sure. So I want everybody to be safe. Thank you, Becky, for the text. Now, local news. we got some local news, folks. Representative Willis Blackshear, Willis Blackshear Jr., that is, introduced a Neighborhood Protection Act. Now, what this is, I'll read it to you. It's from the Dayton Daily News. It says, State Representative Blackshear of Dayton today announced introduction of a Neighborhood Protection Act, which will require vacant property owners to file contact information with the county's auditor's office. Vacant property owners in counties with population larger than 200,000 would be required to provide contact information to the county auditor's office or be penalized with a tax lien. This bill would make it easier to be contacted vacant property owners for property maintenance issues or sales opportunity. Now, it also says that the Neighborhood Protection Act is the first step in addressing an issue that has been around for quite a while. This bill ensures that vacant property owners are accessible to manage, maintain, or either sell the property in neighborhoods all over the state of Ohio. This bill would help address and correct an influx of abandoned and dilapidated properties in our state, according to Mr. Blackshear. And so the bill awaits a number, and then it'll go to the House committee to be debated. But that's a step in the right direction, folks, because we got a lot of old dilapidated properties right here in Dayton, and it's hard to find who owns the thing, you know what I mean? So this bill would lend itself to that. And so that's the first step. We're getting there. I thank Mr. Blackshear Jr., I thank you for doing that, and hopefully we get a lot of support on this bill from the state legislators to make this thing pass as fast as we can get it done. And so if you're interested, you can call your state representative and ask them to support the bill. The bill hadn't got a number yet, but it should have a number real soon, because we get the information quick out around here. And so the piece of legislation is called Neighborhood Protection Act. And so I suggest you call your state representative and say, hey, when this bill has a number, goes to the committee, I want you to support it, because I'm tired of looking at these old pieces of property where these owners just leave town, leave the property, and you got rats and cats and rodents and everything else running up in there, and it make all the properties in the neighborhood look bad. So, thank you, Mr. Blackshear. If you're going down to the Neon Movies right here in Dayton, Ohio, which is a very nice movie theater, right here in the Dayton, Ohio, the Neon Movies require vaccination or negative COVID test. Now, according to the Dayton Daily News, it says moviegoers headed in downtown Dayton will be required to show proof of vaccination with a photo ID or a negative COVID test from at least 72 hours, in addition to wearing a mask. The new health and safety protocol for patrons aged 12 and older goes into effect October the 1st. So if you're headed down to the Neon Movies in Dayton, make sure you have your vaccination card, and make sure you have a proof of a negative test within that 72-hour period, because we're trying to get everybody safe. We're trying to get everybody safe, and the Neon Movies is trying to be as safe as they can. And according to the management there, they will continue to monitor the community health data and amend policies based on guidance, said Jonathan McNeil, who is the Neon manager. That's what he said in the press release. So, if you're going down to the Neon Movies, you know what you got to do, all right, because you heard it here. Now, we have some who can get the COVID-19 booster. And now, this is from the Department of Health. They have some guidelines. And now, the Ohio Department of Health released guidelines over the weekend who is eligible to receive booster doses for the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, I won't give you all the details, but you can contact, your healthcare professional and get some guidance on this. But I will run down just a short list of these who are eligible. Now, it says people 65 or older or residents in a long-term care setting should get the booster shot. This is according to the State Department's health guidelines. It also says people 50 to 64 years old with certain medical conditions should get the booster shot. People 18 to 49 with certain medical conditions. People 18 or older with an increased risk for COVID-19 exposure and transmission due to their job or living in an institutional setting can get the booster shot. And then there's a whole bunch of other ailments that is too long for me to go into that you're eligible for the booster. So And then you have to take that booster 6 months after you've taken your second dose of the vaccine or your one-shot vaccine. So, and if you haven't got the vaccine, what you waiting on? What you waiting on, folks? The vaccine is saving lives. It is effective. We done went over this 100 times, and we'll keep going over it because we got some folks out there with some hard heads, and they just refuse to protect themselves and to protect their family, protect their friends, How do you think this virus is going to how do you think we're going to get a handle on the virus? All right? You don't want to take the vaccine. You don't want to wear a mask. You don't want to social distance. But then you want the virus to go away. That's not how it works, folks. If you got another suggestion on how we can get rid of this virus without the things I just mentioned, I sure like to know. Because I don't see any other way. I don't see these anti-vaxxer people. I don't see what they're talking about. They don't have any other solution. They're going to talk about put some horse cream on you. I'm not a horse, and neither are you. So I'll leave that alone. I'm going to leave that alone. So here we go. We got some national news. Now this is really funny. Fox News mandate employers to disclose vaccination status, contradicting rhetoric from their top stars. So basically, Fox News, and for whatever it's worth, if you want to call that news, they implemented a vaccine passport back in June. Now, the right-wing channel Fox News, with its top personalities, have for months assailed the concept of a vaccine passport. They argued that the companies shouldn't be asking for your vaccine status and all that stuff, right? But their company asked for their vaccine status, and they made it mandatory. So, if you people watch that news station, don't be duped by those people on that station, folks. We got to get accurate information. You see, because it's hypocritical of someone who works for a organization that requires them to show proof of vaccination, and then they get on TV and say and rail against other companies saying that you shouldn't be asking your employees for proof of vaccination when their employee asks them for proof of vaccination. You got it? So, come on, Fox News. Y'all can do better than this. I think you can. You should be anyway. Voter ID. Okay, in North Carolina, judge blocks voter ID law taking effect. Now, it says, and this is from the courts, saying it discriminates against black voters. This is in North Carolina. Now, so, according to CNN, Senate Bill 824 was initially passed in 2018 after the GOP lost supermajority in the state legislature. It required voters of North Carolina to present a photo ID. Stricter laws like this are seen to disenfranchise because not every American citizen has proper ID. Now, which that also includes a disproportionate of people of color. Now, due to that reason, the appeals court found that the law is discriminatory. That's the courts, folks. I didn't make this up. The courts in North Carolina, they the ones who said it was discriminatory. And they said, according to the documents, and this is out of the news and the reports in North Carolina, it says other less restrictive voter laws would have been sufficient to achieve legitimate, non-racial purpose of implementing the constitutional amendment required voter ID. Now, that's what the judges wrote. The judges wrote that North Carolina could have did some other things to ensure that when you go to the polls, you are who you are, right? They didn't have to come down with this here voter ID garbage. So, and some of these laws, you can go in with a hunting license and vote, but you can't come in with like a state ID. That's how stupid some of these laws are, folks. You know what I mean? So the judges in North Carolina ruled it was discriminatory. That's what the judges say. If you want to argue with the judge because North Carolina, whoever argued that case didn't prove it to the judge that it wasn't racist. So there you go. Philadelphia woman. All right, Philadelphia woman will get paid $2 million to a black woman beaten by officers, separated from her toddler during a protest. Now, if you hadn't seen this, it says the city of Philadelphia will pay $2 million to Rakika Young, a black woman who was pulled from her car, then beaten by officers, and then she unknowingly drove into a protest over a police shooting of Walter Wallace Jr. City officials made that statement. So basically what happened is she was coming home from work. Ms. Young was coming home from work. She seen a protest. This is October 27, 2020. She seen a protest taking place. She tried to turn around so she wouldn't have to, because traffic was the traffic was blocked. She tried to turn around, to go another route. The police seen her, stopped the car, pulled her out the car, beat her down, took her son, her infant son, left him in the car, put her in the police car after they beat her up, and her and her, I think it was a nephew in the car also, beat her up, and tried to say that she resisted arrest. Well, she's got $2 million, folks. And statement made by the Philadelphia mayor, Jim Kenney. He called the treatment of Ms. Young absolutely appalling and inexcusable. So, folks, and then, on top of that, I got to bring this up, according to the reports. The Fraternal Order of Police posted a photo of her young son in the arms of the officer on Facebook with the caption, "This child was lost during a violent riot in Philadelphia, wandering around barefoot in an area that was experiencing complete lawfulness. The only thing this Philadelphia police officer cared about in that moment was protecting the child." Now, when that got posted, there was some reaction to it because it was wrong, and then the Fraternal Order of Police took it down hours later. Let me tell you something, Fraternal Order of Police, you in Philadelphia. You can't protect these rogue bad cops' behavior. And if you do, you're putting all the other professional, decent, law-abiding police officers in jeopardy. And I'm not anti-union. I used to be a union representative. But I wasn't a union representative like the Fraternal Order of Police in Philadelphia. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself for putting this junk out here, saying that that baby was lost and didn't know where she was, didn't know where his parents were, and y'all officers y'all supporting, beat the woman up and threw her in the back of a cruiser. Come on, y'all. The Fraternal Order of Police, whoever runs that Fraternal Order of Police, that president, whoever it is, they should have been fired from that job. And I don't care, you can like it or don't like it, I'm telling it like it is, but this should never happen. This should never happen, and that's one of the problems we got. That's why we keep talking about we want police to be accountable, and we want people to help police to be accountable, and if the Fraternal Order of Police in Philadelphia don't want to do that, then they need to get out the way. So, just wanted to bring that up, folks. Moving on. Okay, did you see the footage from the, it says Biden administration plan to deport thousands of Haitians who's crossed the border. And he did detain a whole bunch of them. But on top of that, it says dozens of migrants will soon be forced back to Haiti as the Biden administration aims to crack down on people crossing the border into Texas. The administration plans to deport the migrants on plane loads, and starting as soon as a few Sundays ago. That's what the Washington Post reported. Folks, you've seen the videos of some of the folks and some of the U.S. Border Patrol agents on horseback, pushing back the folks from Haiti, pushing them back in the water. Some of them had a lash. They was hitting at some of the Haitian migrants. I never seen folks treated that way coming to the border trying to enter the United States. Never seen that before in my life. You know, those border patrol officers need to be dealt with because that was inhumane. And on top of that, the U.S. Special Envoy to Haiti resigned over that migrant, the way they was treated. And it's a shame. He said his name was Daniel Foote, who was appointed to the position in July, and following the assassination of Haiti's president. Now in Haiti, you know, the president was assassinated. They had a big 7.8 something magnitude earthquake, which devastated the whole country. And here's a statement that Mr. Fort made. It says, "I will not be associated with the United States' inhumane, counterproductive decision to deport thousands of Haitian refugees and illegal immigrants to Haiti, a country where American officials, basically what he's saying is he won't be a part of that, and he quit his job. And I can't blame him, because there's no reason to treat those people like that. If they were there illegally, then hey, you got to do what the law say do. But I guarantee you, the law don't say get on a horseback, ride down there up on these people, push these people up into the water. They're pushing men, women, and children. These are border agents. They didn't care. And if you get close enough to them, hit them down with a whip, whatever heck that piece of rope them folks were using to hit those people with. You don't treat people like that. These people are trying to make a better life for themselves. And some of them came from Mexico because, it was their country is all tore up. Where's the aid to Haiti? I mean, the United States give aid, out the yin-yang to all these other countries. Pakistan and Pakistan, if you know anything about Pakistan, they harboring most of the terrorists in the world. But the United States give them billions of dollars. Billions. Huh? They give other folks billions of dollars. Saudi Arabia, whom it was reported that some of those terrorists who knocked down the World Trade Center was from Saudi. They get billions of dollars. So why is Haiti treated any different? Just want to ask that question. Well, R. Kelly, yes indeed. R. Kelly trial has, it ended. And R. Kelly will be going to jail. Federal sex trafficking. Robert Sylvester Kelly, a.k.a. known as R. Kelly. R. Kelly going to jail, folks. He's going to jail for a long time. And this trial, the prosecutor put up about 45 witnesses. And it wasn't a pretty picture. He was on trial, and a lot of the witnesses said that he abused underage girls, boys, and women. And not only that, Mr. Kelly, he's still, now the verdict is already out, so they haven't put him in jail yet, but he will be facing jail time. He's in jail now, So in addition to the crimes in New York, Kelly also faces additional charges in Illinois and Minnesota, including sex crimes and human racketeering charges. So, R. Kelly, you had some good music there, bro. But, the books say what you do in the dark will sure come to light. And there was a whole bunch of other people who knew that situation. And I'm glad R. Kelly is, facing his punishment because he didn't have to do it. The man had everything. He didn't have to do it. He had hit single after hit single after hit single. He didn't have to do what he did. Especially to these unwilling people, the kids, the women, and the boys. I was like, good Lord, R. Kelly. So, I don't think we have to worry about R. Kelly no more. He'll be making music from his jailhouse cell, talking about jailhouse rock. There you go. But that's not funny. I'm not laughing at R. Kelly's downfall. Hopefully he gets his life together in jail. And I don't know if he'll ever see another free day. But if he do, he do. If he don't, he don't. That's the consequences of what he done. Nobody did it to him. He did it to himself. So, on that note, folks, I'm going to come to a close. And until next time, may God bless you and your family.